Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to 4Gen, where we help you make disciples to the fourth generation. My name is Stan Rada, and today in our conversation, I want to tell you about how I learned a little bit about disciple making from an unlikely place. So today, I'm going to tell you that story. In Hebrews chapter 12, the Bible describes our walk in faith, our walk in mission to make disciples. It describes it as a marathon. It says, run the race set before you with endurance, meaning you may not get there quickly, but you're going to get there over time. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. But if you'll keep your eyes focused on Jesus, who is the author and perfecter of faith, that's how you'll make progress down the path. That's how you'll make progress in the race. I was reminded of this the other day, that disciple making is a marathon. It's not a sprint. One of the dangers with disciple making, especially when pastors start to get their hands on, is that a lot of pastors who are really results driven really want the results right now. They want to reach the world tomorrow. They want to reach their city today. They want to reach their town this afternoon. And it's really a sprint. How can we get there as quickly as possible? Results, results, results. And yet, sometimes with disciple making, it feels like it's more of a marathon. It's more of an endurance thing. I learned that, and I was reminded of it by watching my 15-year-old son the other day work out. He's been really getting into fitness. He made the lacrosse team at his high school for JV as a freshman. He's been wanting to get bigger and faster and stronger and all that kind of stuff. And he's wanting to grow as an athlete. Well, we don't have a gym in our garage or here at the house, and gym memberships are ridiculously expensive. And so I told him, be creative, see what you come up with, try some things, and begin to build a gym in the garage. And so he did. It's actually been really fun to watch the creative ways he's come up with building his own gym in the garage. He's made weights out of concrete mix. We're mixing them in 5-gallon buckets and creating basically what amount to these weight plates, 25-pound weight plates out of concrete mix. He's used zip ties to connect dumbbells to the barbell to do bench press and squats. He uses a little incline bench to do different variations of presses and shoulder presses and bench presses and all these types of things. And it's been fun to watch little by little as he gets creative and adds a thing here, adds a weight there, saves his money and buys a thing here, a little along the way, to watch as he's got something going where the garage is progressing into quite the little gym. Now, I know that my son has his eyes set further down the road. He's got his eyes set toward being a faster athlete, a stronger athlete. He wants to accomplish more. He wants to be bigger. He wants to get stronger. And so he's working toward that. I know that's his goal. But as we all know, you can't lift weights one time, one day, and wake up with, chiseled pecs and six-pack abs and, rippling biceps. It doesn't work that way. It works over time, one day at a time, one workout at a time, one piece of equipment at a time, just a step at a time, right? And I was watching him build this gym piece by piece, and slowly but surely, I'm watching him also get stronger and faster and bigger. And I'm watching it happen little by little in front of my eyes. And I was reminded that's exactly what it's like with disciple making. It's exactly what it's like. It is a marathon, not a sprint. Sometimes you have to just look for the next piece right in front of you and just get to the next marker, the next piece of equipment, the next weight, the next exercise, the next meal, the next whatever it is. You're just trying to get to the next thing. Your eyes are set further down the path. Your eyes are set toward Jesus to make disciples that will make more disciples, that will make more disciples, that will start churches and start churches. Like our eyes are set toward multiplication. However, we get to multiplication by doing the next right thing, by taking the next step of obedience, by lifting the next weight, by doing the next right thing, by asking God, what would you have of me today? I will obey you today. I will do what you ask of me today. And as I obey today, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next, that begins to build and progress toward a disciple-making movement. I'm probably not going to have a disciple-making movement after one day of effort, after one workout, after one specific thing. It's a progression toward that end. Run the race with endurance. Disciple-making is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Now, if it helps you to remember it, you can keep my son in mind. You can keep his little garage gym in mind, his concrete weights, his dumbbells, and all the things he's building along the way as he goes. You can keep that in mind, or you can even think about it in running terms. If you're out on a 3-mile run or a 7-mile run or longer, a lot of times you can't see the finish line, but what you can see is the next stop sign, that next intersection, that next water meter in front of you, the next thing in front of you. And you can say, if I just get to the stop sign, if I can just get to that intersection, if I just get to that next thing, I'll be a little bit closer. I'll be a little bit more prepared. And you just take the next thing. So think about it in terms of obedience. God, what would you have me to do today? What's your next step? What's the next weight that you need to add to your journey? What's the next exercise you need to build into your program? What's the next nutritious meal you need to eat? What's the next right thing you can do to take a step of obedience and follow God? As a disciple, when you hear God's voice and obey, what step of obedience are you going to take? As a disciple maker, how are you going to help your disciples hear God's voice and obey and take that next step? How do you help them get to the next weight, the next exercise, the next meal, just to the next day, to begin to build over time a disciple-making movement? I hope you will begin to see disciple-making as a marathon and not a sprint, that your eyes and your vision and your focus will be on Jesus Christ, the author and perfecter of our faith. You will push toward that. You will push toward disciple-making movement, but you will also do it understanding it's a marathon, not a sprint. I hope and pray this will encourage you today to just take the next best step of obedience that God is calling you to take in your ministry and with your disciples, and that you'll begin to see out of your obedience God transforming lives and taking territory for Himself and for His kingdom and for His glory. I hope and pray the absolute best for you, disciples and disciple makers. Let's get out there and let's take some kingdom territory.